Aren't you excited? We're almost 2 weeks into getting ready to go to Interlake. You don't want to miss Interlake. It's a great park. What? You're not for sure? Well, that's why I made this video. I thought this would be easier to address some of the questions that I'm receiving about Interlake and wheeling in general versus typing something out on Facebook and watching that post get buried and then the same questions start popping up. So if you're questioning about going to Interlake, let me try to answer those for you. The first and biggest question I get is, should I go down the night before or the day of? It's personal preference. A few of us like to go down the night before. A couple reasons. One, you get there and you don't have to wake up super early to make the drive to get to the park the day of. Secondly, a lot of the members that go down the night before get together and have dinner, socialize, chat it up a little bit about what they're going to do, what they think they're going to do, or what they want to do at the following wheeling event. There's hotels, motels, and there's always camping. Now, I know it's cold, but if you have the appropriate gear, camping is always a fun time. What happens at the campsite stays at the campsite. Anyway, for those of you that are going to drive down the morning of, there's a lot of members who do that and have done it many times over. It's an easy drive on interstates. I live on the south side of Indianapolis. So for me, from my door to the park is about 3.5 hours. It's an easy drive. Plenty of places to stop and get gas if need be and or grab a snack. If and when you get to the park that morning of, or even if you're going down the night before, please make sure to show up at the park at the meeting time. So that way we can get our drivers meeting, break up into trail groups, and get on with the day. In regards to the trail group, that's the second question I get asked. What trail group do I go with? Who do I wheel with? Can I wheel with my buddies? Are there certain things I need to look out for? I don't want to be in a trail group that winds up doing things that I don't want to do, or I don't want to be in a trail group that doesn't do the things I want to do. Hold on. First, as you've seen me post in prior videos, the trail guide training, the trail guide program addresses these concerns. After the drivers meeting, we'll break up into trail groups. If you've not viewed the trail group file, which I've posted on the Facebook page, that outlines what you need to be in each group and what each group may or may not encounter, you can see it here or go to the file section and make sure to read it. Secondly, during the drivers meeting and when we break up into trail groups, we start to identify what everybody does want to do and does not want to do. And that may help you decide on what trail group you want to be in. Now, for those of you that are mildly modified or stock, don't let that hinder you from getting into the intermediate or even staying in the beginner trail groups. There's nothing wrong with any of those groups. Don't let the labels change your mindset about if it says beginner, they're going to do nothing but drive around dirt roads. That's not the case. Interlake is a huge park and it offers all kinds of things to do. Now, if you just want to drive around on dirt roads, you can do that. There's plenty of that. But if you're ready to take it up a notch, do some hill climbs, some other fun trails, there's plenty of that. And for those of you that just like to see Jeeps roll over, laugh about it, and trailer at home, there's plenty of those trails too. Plus, those guys are always fun to watch. So, if you're thinking about these concerns, don't let them be a concern. They're going to be addressed. We don't like to have anybody come to an event and be nervous. And if you are, we'll address those concerns for you. I want to remind you, if people don't come to our wheeling events, there's no point in having wheeling events. If we don't have wheeling events, why have a Jeep Club? It's for you guys, the members. We're going to make sure you have fun. You're going to do it safe, and your Jeep's going to be protected at all times. Does things happen on the trails? I'd be lying if I said no. Of course they do. But we do everything in our power to eliminate that. And a trail guide goes through the necessary training to ensure that they know when to stop or say, this trail just isn't any good, let's back off of it, so forth and so on. Keep in mind, if you find yourself in a trail group and you'd like to step it up a bit or roll it back a little bit, you can do that. We can interchange trail groups as needed. More times than not, during the middle of the event, we all meet up to do lunch, and most people usually exchange trail groups. Sometimes the trail guides like to change it up and change groups. So there's always opportunity to change your mind mid-flight. In regards to the park, Interlake does not have a food resource. What that means is, unlike Badlands where they have a small food stand, they don't have one at the park. Now you can drive down the road to the gas station and risk getting a gas station hot dog or whatever floats your boat. But I would suggest you grab a packed lunch and some snacks, some fluids such as water to have with you throughout the event. There's a very nice pavilion that's covered with tables, very clean, place to eat. So there are also bathrooms as well. You don't need to worry about that. Other question I get regarding the park is, do I need an onboard air system? No, not for Interlake you do not. They actually provide a pump that you can use. Granted, it's slow, but it works. I've used it and some other folks have used it on our last trip to Interlake, and it worked just fine to get the tires up to pressure so you can get on down the road. However, let me suggest, if you do wheel, and this is a hobby of yours, start looking in or researching onboard air systems, whether it's CO2 portable canisters or a hardwired, hard-mounted ARB type system. They're worth their weight in gold. It's a great resource, just like a winch is if you like to wheel. So again, if anybody's having concerns or stressors about the wheeling event, don't let those thoughts go out the window. That's why we work so hard to ensure that our trail groups are well managed and well organized so that you have a great time, and that daily driver is going to drive Monday morning to work just like it did all day on the trail Saturday and Sunday. For those of you that are still questioning about areas to stay, there's plenty of resources online to find hotels or camping grounds for those that want to do that. If you've not gone to Interlake's website, you can find an interactive map. The map is pretty detailed but does not show everything that the park has to offer. If you've not seen that, here's the website link so that you could find the map. Again, if you've not reviewed the trail groups, make sure to do that. It's in the files page of the Facebook page, or you can find a copy here. Lastly, if anybody has any other questions or concerns, make contact with myself or one of the other trail guides. Don't miss out on a wheeling event because you have some unanswered questions or stress points that you just aren't sure about. Make sure to ask someone. Really, anybody on the page that's been at Interlake can answer the questions that you may or may not have. I hope to see everybody at the wheeling event. It's going to be a great time. It always is. And if you're not been on the event page, make sure to check it out. Don't forget, we got the NDOT street or area cleanup that's coming up very soon. That's a great community give back event. Sign up if you can. Also, I know some questions are starting to arise about the 2021 wheeling schedule. I'm working on that now. I'm going to get it out hopefully before the holidays so everybody can see everything for 2021 and you can start planning for which events from which months that you want to take advantage of. We've had a great momentum at the end of our year. I'm hoping that we have that same momentum at the start of 2021. I hope to see you on the trail.